Hello and welcome to another spooky episode of the Exiled Prince. It's almost Halloween and it's a perfect time to enter the Foglands. You can see here, we're on the very edge of the Foglands. The vegetation hasn't died out yet, but the dense fog has settled over the whole landscape, telling us of dreadful things lurking in its midst. Boom. But that's not stopping us, baby. It's the Un-Hive. Here we come, into the fog. We know that there is some juicy NPCs to recruit in Mongrel. Mongrel is a city of outcasts and outlaws, nestled in the midst of the Foglands, and anyone who can survive the horrible gauntlet of fogmen can find a home in the city. So that's where we're headed, because I, Adam, have my metagaming knowledge of some free NPCs for us to recruit there. A couple that aren't free, which is sad, because it'd be fun to recruit them, but we've got some good free ones in there. Giving our silly name scheme a run for its money. So this is the inside of the Foglands now. You can see the landscape is just this sort of gross, inhospitable gray rocks with this real dense fog. There are in-game dialogue that you can dialogue bits that say you can carry a lantern with you and it will fend off the fogmen. This is totally untrue, and wearing a lantern will do nothing beyond. I mean, it provides illumination, which is can be helpful, but it doesn't. That's purely a myth that it wards off the fogmen. So here we go. Here we are. Here's our boys cresting the hill, deep into the fog. The mod that we have changes the fogmen a little bit. Mostly it makes them way faster, because in you've noticed already that a lot of this game is having high athletics characters sprint around and outrun all the dangerous enemies. And so this mod makes it so it's virtually impossible to outrun the fogmen, but we are heavily armed, heavily armored, and we are very ready to fight groups of fogmen that we might run into. And speaking of which, here they are. You can see they look very much like the Hive characters that we have. These look like mostly worker drones. But they are green. They're green, and they use bones as their weapons. Yeah, these are all normal fogmen, which are worker drones, and then you'll also run into fog heavies, who are soldier drones, and fog princes, who are, unsurprisingly, Hive princes. They don't really have anything interesting to loot on them, though you can sell the heads of the Hive princes for a few thousand cats, so that's the only worthwhile loot to find in here. We also find a poor gang of Holy Nation outlaws sparring with a group of fogmen. You can see, actually, these are the aforementioned fog heavies. They're soldier drones with bone armor and stuff. That's something that the mod adds. In vanilla, they just are all naked and they fight with, I think, metal clubs, like the ones that outlaws are using. I genuinely forget if we intervened in this fight or not, but I hope we did, because it's nice to save the outlaws from being eaten alive by fogmen. Oh yeah, if the fogmen capture you, they'll carry you to their camps and eat you, so that's fun. It's also I alluded several episodes ago to the gruesome ways players make their characters lose limbs so that they can put robotics on them, and that's one of them, is letting a character start to get eaten by fogmen, because the fogmen will eat the limbs off first. So you tie one of your guys to a pole in the Foglands and then hide, and the fogmen come and start to eat them, and you just wait for them to eat all the limbs off, and then you come and kill all the fogmen. Horrifying stuff. I've never done it personally. So yeah, it gives you a taste of the weird shit that Kenshi players like to do. But we do make it pretty uneventfully. I think actually most of our fighting happens when we leave Mongrel. We got to Mongrel pretty clean. So here we are. This is a neutral city. It's one of the only... It's the last... If you're traveling north the way we are, this is the last city that we'll hit before we start to run through kind of wild and untamed lands like the... I think next is the Shrieking Forest, and we're going to go through Purple Sands, and finally hit the Leviathan Coast, which is honestly a little bit of a paradise from a Kenshi player's perspective, which we'll get to, I think, next episode. But getting to it is pretty perilous. So this is sort of your last bastion of civilization if you're coming from the south the way we are. If you were coming from the east, you would probably hit the tech hunter city of World's End, which we hit last time, actually, with that one with the Great Library in it. So this is Mongrel. This is a fun city. There's a lot of fun shops. It's like a surprisingly... Well, I guess it's not surprised because it's very remote, but it's also all the civilization there is. So there's several. There's a thieves' tower. There's a couple of bars. There's, you know, weapon shops, robotics shops, just kind of everything. It's one of those cities like Flats Lagoon, which is that one from the blog days that's like raised up on stilts. Very kind of cool. It's this cool little remote city that's just packed everything you need into one little place, and I quite like it. So here's another shot, more of the interior of the city. You can see the neon bar sign on that building there. And then on the left, you can see a building with kind of little coverings and then beds. That's going to be an inn where people can stay. You can see lots of shop signs hanging off of places. And here in the front, these are the gate guards of Mongrel. You can see that they're, you know, welcoming us in. It's a very kind of, I mean, it's kind of depressing because it's in the middle of the Foglands, and everyone there is just like sad, and they have no choice but to stay because they'll die if they leave, basically. But it's kind of cool because it is just people of all. It's one of the places that is really just people of all stripes ending up in this situation by necessity, and you don't have to deal with the kind of ethno states and or like exploitative slave empires that most of the other cities. But actually, wait, hold on. There's someone in the street. There's someone in the street in the distance. It's a Hive worker drone, which is great. Maybe we can recruit him, but he's sprinting towards Sakri at full tilt, just running like I think he's going to talk to us. So we should probably wait and see what he has to say. But like, I don't really know what his deal is. I mean, who? Oh, wait. Oh shit! Oh, it's Beep! It's Beep, baby! Here he is! You know him! You love him! The moment you've all been waiting for! We got Beep! We got Beep in the Un-Hive today! Hell yeah. Hell yeah, it's Beep time, baby. That's right. Here comes Beep. This is the reason I've been so excited to get to Mongrel. I hope that bit recorded right, because I really don't want to re-record this whole episode just to get that. Here he is. Beep. This is the fan favorite character. So he's sort of, some people say he's overhyped. I don't. I think he's really cool. He is a full, totally unremarkable starting stats worker drone character. But he has some fun dialogue and stuff. Which we're going to see right now, because he runs right up to Sakri and he says Beep. And you can't see which one I chose, but Sakri says hi, Beep, and he's like, what? How did you know my name? And he's very impressed by us, and he explains that he just left the Hive, which is great. We collect Hive exiles. That's our whole thing. And he's excited by his freedom, but terrified by the danger, which is, of course, what we can help with. And he, you know, Beep is the strongest warrior, is what he always says. And then there's one piece of dialogue that got skipped here where he asks if he can join us, and we say, like, okay, how much? And then he says, I don't know what money means. And you're like, well, shit, dude, get on board. So that's Beep. He's on our team now. I'm gonna try and... I think I try and, like, screenshot when funny random dialogue happens with him. But I can also talk about it in sometimes when I missed it. He's very funny. I can't wait for him. Oh boy, I can't wait for him to lose limbs, because he has whole sets of unique dialogue that specifically happen if you start to give him prosthetic limbs. So he's on our team. That's Beep. We got another team member, and we've only barely set foot in the door of Mongrel. But he's not the only one we're going to be getting. This is Shrike. She's another Scorchlander, just like Perry. In my last playthrough, Shrike was my master armorer and weaponsmith. And we're going to get her trained up with Perry as well, get them crafting together. It'll be a while from when I recruit her here, but ultimately she will be one of our crossbow wielders. You can see she's got her cool glasses and her cool red hair. We can recruit her for free because she's caught to Mongrel and she's all depressed, and she's kind of stuck there. So that means that we're allowed to get her, because that was the rule we set, which was Hive exiles or anyone else who is free. So she agrees to join us and says don't let her change her mind. We should drag her along. So we are more than happy to bring her with us. This is God. This guy is just some person in the bar. This reminded me of the Wilburger videos where he adds mods to make everyone shout "re," and I thought it was funny that someone in unmodded Kenshi was doing that. But here we meet at the top floor of the bar. This is our third recruit, our third and final recruit that we're going to get here in Mongrel. This is Crumblejohn. That's his real name, Crumblejohn. Crumblejohn's deal is that he was apparently a famous samurai, and now he's old, so he can't find work as a samurai, and he'll join you for free. So that's what we do. And I thought he sits with his little hunched over posture, which is making his face stick into the table, and I think that's really funny. And sitting across from him is another unique recruit who we cannot recruit, actually, because he costs 3,500 cats to recruit. His name is Infinite Wing Wang. Infinite Wing Wang. And Crumblejohn. And Beep. You see what I mean about the Kenshi names? It's fun. It's good. So we got Crumblejohn on our team. Oh, here he is. Yeah. That's some little. He's a sad man. Oh, I put these out of order, but here's the guy from the bar being racist to. I mean, if you wanted to be nasty, you could give him the benefit of the doubt that they're insane Hive drones trying to eat everyone outside the city. But also, this is uncalled for. I'm clearly wearing a hat, and I'm not a fog man. So here's Crumblejohn. Now that we've souped him up, I think we didn't bring as much equipment as we ought to have, given that we knew we were going to be recruiting people in this city. So I spent too much money on some leather armor and a big saber for his back. So yeah, he'll be trained up in no time. Look at him. He's in great shape. No problem. Here's Beep. And I think that's Hiroto standing next to him. In a similar situation, we don't have a lot of equipment for Beep, but he's got his cool drifter jacket, his little ninja blade. He's gonna be using katanas for a while until at a certain point I decide to make him use a polearm. What's next? I forget. Yes. So it's about time for us to leave, and we sort of sit back and just watch the gate guards fight a huge horde of fogmen for a while, until it seems like the coast is clear enough for us to leave. Not that we're in a huge amount of danger, because we're actually way better equipped than these guards are. And so that's what we do. We head out. You can see us fighting through a stream of fogmen. Like, there's literally, all the way up at the top right, you can see our pack beast alongside. It's so far away I can't see who is up there. Looks like Sad Neil's up there. Ray, maybe. There's Shrike and Little. And then in the middle, we hired a group of mercenaries in the city, so they're following along. We got Hiroto and another pack beast traveling all the way down to the left. It's just like a whole big stream of our guys. Pretty cool shot, honestly, though I'm not wild about the floating damage numbers. Green means we're doing the damage, and red means we're taking the damage. But moving on, you can see that we're making progress. We're out in the outskirts of the Foglands now. You can tell because there's not the actual fog, but we are still close enough to be fighting our way. It was just the whole trip from Mongrel to the edge of the Foglands was like one traveling battle against groups of fogmen. But you can see I equipped us for a campaign against the cannibals. I'll talk a little bit about that in the next episode. Which means that we are fully ready to fight hordes of unarmored humanoids. So we tear these guys down, no problem. Make our way straight out. And that means that we bring ourselves to the end of this episode, which is us entering into the Shrieking Forest, which is the last kind of obstacle between us and the Leviathan Coast, where we will be able to set up our northern base and reclaim the lands that the cannibals have overrun. So thank you for sticking around. We'll have another one up soon, and I hope you enjoyed this little episode and that I don't have to re-record it because of messing up bits in the middle. Bye bye.